Hey folks, I'm Rupali, your host, and welcome back to Crime Hack. Sandy is captured by the gang of goons and is beaten by a sadistic maniac when he tries to investigate the catacombish tunnels. He somehow manages to escape and finds out that the gang is using a cave somewhere, possibly as a hideout, and also that they are clearing the debris in the tunnels to make them an escape route. With more questions popping up than ever, he calls Raj to come fetch him. Raj notices Sandy's bad shape, but they have to rush home as a guest is waiting for them. Their father has invited Detective Tomar for dinner, and the boys find him scary, yet nice, and learn quite a few things from the expert. Next day, Sandy still hasn't shared his story, and Raj is dying to know what had happened. Sandy narrates what he found out, and Raj has a valid doubt. There were 6 or more goons, and yet only Sandy was followed from the college but not Raj. Why? And now, Naik Brothers and the Mystery of the Catacombish Tunnels by Rupali Rajapathe Roti, Part 43. The boys racked their brains for an answer but couldn't find one. Why was only Sandy followed but not Raj? Now Raj told his story and brought up another point. I suspect that the half-hour ride that Priya had mentioned was to confuse anyone following that lead. You mean she never had a half-hour ride? Sandy asked, astonished. No, I mean that Priya was given a half-hour ride by the abductors to make her believe that she was taken someplace far, on purpose. Raj suddenly became charged up. You know what? There are a few things we need to find out quickly. First, who is keeping an eye on us in college? Because someone heard us while we were discussing our plans yesterday. And second, what's going to happen this Thursday? Sandy became pensive, so Raj continued. On the day of our ambush, we talked to Priya in front of her friends, and then in the canteen. Raj suddenly stopped talking in the middle of his sentence, and Sandy looked up questioningly. Raj mused aloud. Now that I think of it, yesterday morning when we had been to the canteen for a quick snack, the new guy had his eyes glued on you. You remember? Yeah, the nephew of our canteen guy. Sandy made a face. Raj grinned. You really thought I believed what I teased you for real? When Sandy didn't answer, he laughed out loud. I was just pulling your leg, man. Mom, you saw how he bullies me? Sandy immediately complained. That's my birthright, kiddo, Raj claimed. Stop calling me kiddo. What did you do now? Mrs. Nayak asked her older son over the din. Nothing, Mom. He's just a crybaby. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No. Will you two stop fighting? Their mother looked exasperated and the boys stopped the bickering. Then, growing serious, Raj continued. But to tell you the truth, I was really wondering why he was so interested in you. And then in the evening you were attacked. Raj's face darkened. So, you are saying he is our guy? Could be. We should better keep an eye on him. Their mother suggested. Why don't you try feeding him with some misleading information and see what yields? Why, that's a brilliant idea. Raj patted her back and she blushed. So, Sandy tossed the question. What do we feed him with? How about the case is getting too hot for us and that we are stopping our investigation? Raj proposed. Perfect. Then we could have someone keep an eye on him. Sandy then looked at his watch and said, Mom, could you please get me a glass of milk? I'm still feeling a bit weak and it's not lunchtime yet. Of course, beta. Their mother got up and left for the kitchen. Raj eyed Sandy uncertainly and asked, You wanna lie down or something? Sandy waited till Mrs. Naik closed the door behind her and then replied, I just wanted to talk to you alone. Yesterday, the boss seemed hell-bent on killing me as soon as possible. He didn't even want to wait till he placed a call to you. What are you saying? Raj gasped. That's a fact, and I managed to free myself from right under his nose. And you never showed up even after he threatened to kill me. So I think he must be really furious by now. I'm afraid he might take proactive measures to harm us in any way possible. Oh, Raj mused as the seriousness of the situation became clearer. Sandy continued, so we have to ensure that we don't fall into their clutches again, at any cost. I suggest you request police protection for us, but it may take some time, so round up all our friends to play your bodyguards for the time being. Remember, we are up against at least 6 or more villains. Raj nodded thoughtfully. Just then, their mother walked in with a glass of milk and asked, "Did I miss anything?" Sandy evaded her gaze. No. We were just waiting for you to arrive, Mom." Then he continued, "Now, Tushar had his trunk in a cave somewhere. Where do you think that cave could be?" Mrs. Naik spoke up. Difficult. Well, Pune is completely surrounded by hills and mountains, so there could be a lot of caves. Then again, given the population today, it's impossible to imagine a cave that hasn't been discovered or frequented yet. Raj became upset. So how do we find it now? It will be like finding a needle in a haystack. After a while of silence, when nobody had anything else to speak about, Mrs. Naik asked, "So tell me, boys, what are your plans for today?" Raj replied, "I'll be going back to college for the rest of my lectures and will try to check the canteen guy out." "And what about you?" she asked Sandy. "I guess I'll take some rest today. Work on this pocket flashlight while I'm awake." "How about studying a bit?" his mother asked tartly, and Sandy smiled. "Anything for you, Mom." His smile broadened when he saw her becoming annoyed. "Is that for me that you'll be studying?" He hugged her. "Just kidding, Mom." And he winked at Raj. When their mother went out to do the house chores, the boys split up the work. Sandy immediately placed a call to his father and brought him up to speed. He also requested that the haunted mansion and the underground tunnels be watched and explained that it was necessary for them to not nab anyone in the tunnels just yet. Their father agreed to provide the police protection, but informed that it won't be before evening. In the meantime, Raj placed multiple calls to his friends. He had to prepare his defense before leaving the house. His friends readily agreed, and bunking the last lecture of the first half, came to the Nayak residence. Meeting Sandy and asking how he was, they gathered for a short conference in the boys' room. Raj addressed them. "As you all know by now, Sandy was attacked yesterday, and I face a similar danger. So I need you all to be my bodyguards." This call aroused whoops, shouts, and nodding all around the room. Raj took a deep breath and then said, "Here's what we do. When we leave from here, I drive alone. You bring up my rear. Notice everything and everyone unusual. Click pictures on your camera mobiles if you want. Warn me if you need. And if someone tries to attack me, we will get those come for good." He continued, "Once we reach college, we will head straight for the canteen. Dev, Ajay, Vishal, you sit with me on one table. Sachin, Sushil, Chetan and Parag, you 4 occupy 2 other tables and keep an eye on our guy. When we 4 get up to leave, you 4 stay a while longer and keep observing, casually of course. Later, I will need our guy to be observed throughout the day today. How are we going to manage that?" he asked all present. Sushil volunteered. "I can do that." "No, a single person watching him would look suspicious," Raj objected. "Then possibly we could bunk 1 lecture each and come and watch him?" Sushil looked at the others. It was thus decided that first Sushil, then Parag, then Chetan, and then Sachin would keep an eye on him. Done. Then at 5 we start for my house. Raj picked up the thread again. We drive in the same fashion and reach here. You all are invited to have dinner with us tonight, and then you can go home. Everybody nodded with broad smiles as Mrs. Naik was famous for her great culinary skills. What would I do without you guys? Vishal found his chance. Smiling mischievously, he replied, You can show your gratitude by treating us to pizza and a round trip to Eiffel Tower. What say you guys? Surprisingly, Raj came up close and hugged him. You don't know for how long I have wanted to do this. You really mean it? Vishal looked skeptical, but Raj nodded with earnestness. Man, I don't know what to say. I was just pulling your leg, man. Better believe it. Raj turned to face the others while pulling out his wallet and starting to count the money in it. Vishal was overwhelmed. I just said that because you had teased me once saying the same thing. Well, what can I say? It's more than enough to just know that you are ready to do that for us. Now Raj couldn't control his smile anymore, and suddenly a bulb lit up in Vishal's mind. He frantically checked all his pockets. What the bloody thief! And all his friends burst out laughing. Hey, give it back, I say. Are you a detective or a pickpocket? But Raj tossed the wallet to another friend, and the boys played catch-catch with it, while Vishal hopped from one person to the other trying to catch it in mid-air. Ayo, catch it, I say, Sushil teased in quick gun Murugan style, and Vishal shot back. Ayo, drop it, I say. In some time, the caravan started from the Nayak residence and reached college without any incidents. When Raj walked into the canteen, he looked distressed. Dev, Ajay, and Vishal were right on his heels. They took a table and Ajay went to order for everyone. Raj sat down, hiding his face with his hands, while the others looked concerned. What happened, Raj? Vishal asked and put a hand on Raj's shoulder. Raj rubbed his face gently so that when he uncovered it, it would look as if it was flushed with emotion. Then, slowly moving his hands to his head, he said, Nothing, yaar, and flashed a tensed smile. Dave dragged his chair close and asked, Tell us what happened, Raj. What's wrong? Raj looked at him and then replied in a low voice, It's Sandy. It appeared difficult for him to get the words out. He was attacked yesterday. What are you saying? Dave sprang up to his feet, ramming into the table with a loud noise. He looked utterly shocked and even forgot to mind the curious stares he received from others in the canteen. Ajay was still at the counter and was paying for the items ordered when this happened. As he cast an anxious glance at his friends, the nephew of their canteen guy offered to bring the eatables to their table. Ajay rushed back to the group and asked, What happened? The three of them sat on the edge of their seats, leaning on the table, listening to Raj, while he kept his voice low enough for anyone else to hear. Presently, their order was brought to the table, but Raj didn't stop talking. Yesterday, he gulped visibly, almost lost my brother. Then breathing in deeply, he said, Now we have decided not to pursue this case anymore. It's getting too risky for us. We should have taken them seriously the first time they warned us. Raj became silent and spied the guy leaving their table out of the corner of his eye. It seemed that Raj had lost his appetite and didn't eat much. He didn't talk much and kept a long face throughout. After a while, the foursome left. The lectures of the second half were peaceful and Raj didn't leave his classroom at all. Between the lectures, however, one boy, different every time, came up to him, whispered something in his ear, and left before the next professor walked in. Nothing much had happened. Their subject had made just one call soon after Raj and his friends had left the canteen, and nothing happened thereafter. Raj had started to wonder whether he really was their guy, or if their guess had been completely off the mark. At the end of the day, somewhat disappointed, the caravan started again. Raj was driving alone as planned and was deep in thought. The day had turned out to be a failure just like the few days preceding it, and he was yet again going home with no new clue whatsoever. They still didn't know who all were involved in Akash's beat up. Whether Tushar liked Priya was never confirmed because he had never proposed to her. They also didn't know what that gang was up to, what was going to happen on Thursday, why the crooks were digging up the old tunnel, where that cave was, why the Naik brothers were in danger, and the list of questions just kept growing every day. Raj was vaguely aware that there was no vehicle in front of him on the road when something suddenly rushed up to his face and he screamed, more out of surprise than fear. Friends, we are soon coming up with Hindi and Marathi subtitles too. We have begun with episode 1 and slowly moving forward, so please be patient with us. I know I am also slow in publishing other videos too, so sorry about that. What can I say? I am feeling a bit shy to come on camera, and I am also learning video editing skills, so it doesn't cost me a kidney to run this channel. That's why any help on Patreon will be highly appreciated. I hope you are enjoying the story so far. Forget about my narration skills. I'm new at that too. But don't worry, I will soon become very good. Till then, please bear with me. We are also connecting with various experts to bring them onto our channel so our lovely audience could learn about real life threats and learn how to keep themselves safe. If you're an expert on crime, psychology, life skills, threat identification and containment, or an NGO working for either criminals or victims, or if you yourself were victimized and learned to grow through the experience, then please connect with us. Until next time, keep safe, save others, raise others out of darkness. Namaskar.